From the heart of Statesboro and straight down the Blue Mile, this is the Blue Mile Breakdown, your weekly dive into Georgia Southern football. Now here's your host, Brendan Sapp, Hail Southern and GATA. Welcome everybody to the very first episode of the Blue Mile Breakdown. I am your host, Brendan Sapp, and I am glad to be here with you guys. Finally, 3 years to get this thing off the ground. Had a lot of setbacks, but we are here now, and it is time to talk about our Eagles. I hope you guys are as ready for the remainder of this season as I am. I know you guys are hoping for a better remainder of the season, as I am as well. Let's jump right into some stuff here. First thing I want to do is I want to apologize to everybody who's watching this on YouTube. If you're just listening on Spotify or one of the other listening platforms, this doesn't really matter to you. But to everybody watching the video of this podcast, I have to apologize for my glasses. There's a great reflection and you can't really see my eyes, and I'm going to show you why. That guy right there. That is our almost 7-month-old golden retriever, Maverick. I usually wear Gamer Advantage glasses. It's a sponsor of the show. There's no reflection in those. They are made for gaming, streaming, podcasting, whatever. And I got up to go to church a couple Sundays ago, and Mr. Maverick had decided that he wanted to eat my glasses in my sleep. He got up, got them off my dresser, and chewed them into about 6 pieces. So we are stuck with these until Gamer Advantage gets my new ones here. So I want to apologize to everybody watching, because I understand how aggravating it is to look at someone talking and not be able to see their eyes. But if I take them off, I can't read any of my notes. So we're going to leave them on, and I apologize for the glare. I am Brendan Sapp. I'm born and raised in Claxton, Georgia. I've been an Eagle fan since July 10th, 1983, which is the day I entered the earth. I am the guy also who wrote the song Hail Southern back in 2015 as a football anthem for Georgia Southern. If you're not familiar with it, it is on Spotify. You can search up Hail Southern, Brendan Sapp, or Hail Southern 10 Mile Creek, which is the band I was in at the time that we originally recorded the song. There's 2 versions of it available on Spotify, Apple Music, every streaming platform that you can think of. It is there, iHeartRadio, YouTube Music. So that's just a little more about me. My wife is a double Eagle educator from Georgia Southern, and our whole family is just about Georgia Southern. That's literally it. I've had people ask me, well, who do you pull for? I say Georgia Southern. Well, what real team do you pull for? And you guys know, fellow Eagle fans, you know how that rubs you when somebody says that, because they believe if you're not in the SEC, you're not a real college. So you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, enough about me. We can talk more about me on another episode. Right now, I want to jump in to next week's game. Southern Miss comes to town to take on our Eagles at Paulson Stadium, 8 p.m. Game will be on ESPN2, but we hope to see Paulson packed. The power of Paulson is just undeniable, and we hope to see it packed. So before we get into the predictions and statistics for the game, let's kind of recap the first 5 games really quickly, because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it because it depresses me. I honestly thought we'd be 4-1 at this point. That's my bad for being optimistic, I suppose. As we sit at 2-3 with an inexcusable loss, in my opinion, to Fresno State, and a mollywhopping by JMU that I honestly didn't see coming, but it is what it is. We had a lot of injuries in that game. We just got to move on and win out. We got to win out the Sun Belt to get to the championship game. And we got another Sun Belt foe coming to town on the 9th. So we're sitting 2-3. In my opinion, it's a must-win game, not only for the remainder of this season or the fate of this season, but for Clay Helton. I think he's got to win this game. I'll get into my thoughts on that a little later as well, but we're going up against a team that's got the number 17 passer in the country, Braylon Braxton, and that name probably sounds familiar to you guys because he came to Paulson last year wearing the green of the Thundering Herd. He, the coach, and most of the team left and are now at Southern Miss. So, in my opinion, I feel like we're playing 2024 Marshall wearing black and gold instead of green and white. ESPN has the favorites right now of USM at 55% and Georgia Southern at 45% win probability. We know how that goes. We played Nebraska a couple years ago, and the win probability was 85-15 at kickoff, and we beat Nebraska. So you can't really put too much faith in predictions and that kind of thing. But what you can do is look at statistics, and you can look at what we've been doing. And one thing we have not been doing is stopping the run. We have not been tackling well. Our defense has been annihilated in every game. Every game. I mean, even Maine made us look bad when they ran the ball. And that's something we really, really got to work on. And I'm sure the coaches know that better than any of us. And I hope that they have taken this bye week to hit some tackling dummies and remind guys that you don't back up and stick your arms out to make tackles. So hopefully we'll see a better showing from our defense. Because if we don't see a better showing for our defense, we are going to fall to 2-4, regardless of what our offense does. Offense to me has been struggling at times. French is 946 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Braxton has 1,236 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. His stats are a little better than French's, but they both thrown 3 interceptions. Braxton has the edge because he is a scrambler. He is a true dual threat, and we're going to have to contain him and stop the run. I believe if we stop the run, contain Braxton, and make him beat us with his arms solely, I think we win the game. I really do. And I'm hoping that's what we can do. So I hope this bye week has really fired the guys up, and I hope that Brandon is working that defense really hard. And honestly, it's sad to say, but tackling drills, man. I went to my kids' high school game. Well, not my kids don't play. I have a daughter in high school. My son's in first grade, but they go to Robert Toombs Christian Academy. And I went and watched their game this past Friday night. They took on St. Andrews. They won 41-8. Every tackle I saw from both teams was better than the tackling I've been seeing from Georgia Southern's defense this season. And I know Bullard's out, and we had some guys out last week. We got some guys back last week too. So really no excuses for that at their level. These guys are better than they're playing. 100% better than they're playing. And I really hope that the coaches whip them up and get them ready for Southern Miss to come to town next Thursday. When I look at the 3 parts of the game, our defense is struggling. Our offense has been so-so, but our special teams, I got no complaints on special teams. We gave up a couple returns that went for a lot further than they should have, but we've also returned a couple. The punts have been pinning people. Alex Smith doing an awesome job. And not only what Alex Smith is doing with the punting, but what Trip Bryant's been doing kicking. This freshman has come in, and he has been doing phenomenal. Phenomenal. I mean, you couldn't ask for much better out of a freshman. And kicking at Georgia Southern is a tall order. I mean, when you look at a school that produced Rob Baronis, Tyler Bass, Younghoe Koo may be struggling as of late, but we all know what a great kicker he is. And when you come in as a freshman kicker to a school with that track record for kickers, that's a lot of pressure. Trip Bryant's been doing an awesome job kicking for Georgia Southern. Not only extra points, but field goals as well. And I hope to see that continue throughout the rest of the year. Special teams are doing great. And honestly, it's been the shining light of this season. And I hope that continues through the remaining games. I hope the defense and the offense can catch up and play as good as our special teams has played through the first 5. Guys, right now we're going to take a quick sponsor break to tell you about Gamer Advantage glasses. Use the promo code BrendanSapp157 at GamerAdvantage.com. Here's a commercial. Hi, Brendan Sapp here, better known in the streaming community as Brendan Sapp157. I'm here today to talk to you about Gamer Advantage glasses. Before I discovered Gamer Advantage eyewear, gaming was taking a toll on my eyes. Long hours staring at a screen left me with constant eye fatigue, dry eyes, and restless nights. I was tired, frustrated, and frankly, losing my edge. But then I found Gamer Advantage. These glasses aren't just any gaming glasses, they're a game changer. With their state-of-the-art blue light technology, Gamer Advantage glasses filter out all the harmful blue light that's been keeping you up at night. No more eye strain, no more dry eyes, just clear vision and a great night's sleep. Now, I wake up refreshed, ready to take on any challenge, whether it's IRL or in the game. If you care about your eyes, whether you're a gamer, programmer, or anyone who spends time in front of a screen, I highly recommend Gamer Advantage eyewear. Protect your eyes, perform at your best. Gamer Advantage. See the game, save your eyes. One of the big issues I see with our offense and why we're struggling when I look at it is we're only 42% on the year for third down conversions. If you're not getting first downs, your defense is out on the field way too much. And that leads to them getting ripped up and not being able to stop the run because they're fatigued. They're gassed. So we got to do better on third downs. I think that kind of goes without saying. Some good news, though, that'll help our offense. We should be, I say we should be, by all reports, getting Gibbs and Dallas back before the Southern Miss game. Hopefully this bye week has given them some extra time to heal. That's going to take a great load off the shoulders of Camden Brown and Dalen Cobb, who've kind of been carrying the passing game as far as receiving goes, getting Dallas back. And you kind of take a load off of Arnold and Badingo by getting Gibbs back. Kind of brings in a three-headed snake instead of just a two-headed monster. So hopefully those guys are healing and they will be able to come back at 100% by next Thursday for the Southern Miss game. And maybe that boosts our offense to where it should be. And we start putting some points on the board and putting some yards in the stat book. 7 games remaining on the schedule. Southern Miss obviously is the next one coming up. To me, it's a must win. It's a must win. Sure, if we drop the game, we drop to 2-4. Now we could win out, and we could still end up being 8-4. But 9-3 looks a little better than 8-4. Plus, I think James Madison may run the table in the East this year. As bad as I hate to say that, because I really didn't think they were going to bounce back from Cignetti leaving as quickly as they did. But they were able to do that. Their AD made great decisions on coaching hires, something we are not familiar with back when we lost Fritz and we ended up with Tyson Summers and ushered in the second era of he whose name we do not speak in Statesboro. Luckily, that's behind us now, but it really, really set us back. And I think even after Lunsford and into Helton's 4th year, I think we're still feeling effects from that because we went from a place people really wanted to come play to it's like, no, I'll just go over here, and that's never been Georgia Southern. Even when we were FCS, we got some guys that probably should have went FBS and, like guys like Adrian Peterson, Greg Hill, a lot of those guys, Teddy Kraft, Jason Foster, I think Kevin Ellison. I think a lot of those guys, Matt Breida, could have probably all gone to FBS, and they come and played at Southern, And I think we've got to get that identity back that we're a team that you don't mess with. You can't play around with Southern. You don't put them on the schedule unless you know you can beat them. And that's why teams like Florida, even Nick Saban said he'd never schedule us again. You guys know the 10-horn line. I don't have to repeat that. But we need to get back to being that team that people fear. And right now we're just not it. So I'm hoping we can turn this thing around, starting with Southern Miss, finish out, the season strong. App State's down. Coastal Carolina's down. Marshall's down. None of these teams are what they were last year or the year before last. So we should be able to pick up wins on these teams. We should be able to beat these teams. There's no excuses. We should be able to beat these teams. These are winnable games. Georgia State, who knows, man? They got Dale McGee. You guys know what he did for Southern, what he did at UGA as running backs coach. It's a tall order to be good in Atlanta as a Panther, but I think they got the right man for the job. I really do believe they hired the right man for the job. If anybody can turn that program into a serious program, I think McGee is it. So that's in 2 weeks. So hopefully these guys get prepped. They go in, they beat Southern Miss. We take that confidence in that 9-day stretch, and we go and we beat Georgia State, and it just snowballs from there, and we find ourselves playing probably Texas State from the West for the Sun Belt Championship. That's what we all want to see. It's not just me. That's just Georgia Southern fans in general. We're supposed to win. We're Georgia Southern. Old Dominion's having a great season. 3-1, wins over Virginia Tech and Liberty. They got Coastal this weekend and Marshall next weekend, and then they'll take on James Madison. We play them late in the year, so hopefully by that point we found our identity and we found our groove, and we're playing real football instead of what we've been playing these first 5 weeks. That is the hope, but it's still a long season. We got a lot of football left to be played. But looking at the matchups, on paper, which you guys know, paper's about as good as what you can do with it in the bathroom. On paper, things are not that far off. Kind of evenly matched teams here. You can look on paper at common opponents. Georgia Southern beat Jacksonville State 41-34. Southern Miss 42-25. So not a whole lot of differential there in a common opponent, which is the only one we've had so far this season. So yeah, looking on paper at common opponents, to me, we're kind of evenly matched with Southern Miss. And again, I look at this team as 2024 Marshall, who we beat. And I think we can beat them again this year. It'll be the first meeting between Southern Miss and Georgia Southern, which blew my mind. I couldn't believe that. I know we've played in baseball, basketball, and other sports, but I really thought somewhere along the way we would have played Southern Miss in football, and we've never done it. So we have a chance to go 1-0 all time against a conference foe, which is always good. So I truly hope the coaches have these guys fired up to come off this bye week and just dominate Southern Miss, get this win, roll it to the rest of the season, and carry that on. Don't forget that game, Southern Miss at Paulson, Thursday, October 9th at 8 p.m. It will be on ESPN2, but we hope to see Paulson packed out and that power of Paulson just doing its thing, man. That's what we want to see. Guys, right now we're going to take a quick sponsor break to tell you about G Fuel. G Fuel Energy, G Fuel Hydration. I can tell you about the hydration side because I don't drink energy drinks. The hydration side is amazing. The electrolytes and the focus stuff that they put in these drinks is phenomenal. My favorite is the Sonic Rings. It's a peach flavor. But here's an ad to tell you more about it. Use the promo code BrendanSat157. Here's the ad. Fuel your grind, power your play, and stay locked in with G Fuel Energy. When the game gets intense, hydration is everything. That's why I choose G Fuel. Zero sugar, zero caffeine, packed with electrolytes, antioxidants, and vitamins. Whether I'm streaming, grinding ranked, or just powering through my day, G Fuel keeps me focused and fueled. G Fuel, G Hydration, stay fueled, stay unstoppable. Go to gfuel.com and use my promo code BrendanSat157 at checkout. Earlier, I touched on what I thought Clay Helton would have to do. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be some hard decisions that he has to make at the end of this year. But I think you kind of got to cut the family and buddy ties when it comes to our coordinators. I think we need to look at bringing in some guys that are hungry, maybe some FCS head coaches that are looking to make that step up to open that door for more opportunities that'll come in and want to be a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, that can really bring their hunger and make a difference with this team. Because I know that we all thought, say what you want, you're denying it, you're in denial if you don't tell the truth here. We all thought by 2025 Southern would be trying to make a bid for that last playoff spot, that group of 5 playoff spot. And I talked earlier about what killed us when Fritz left, and we all know that's true. But that's been 10 years ago now. We've got to get back that fear of Georgia Southern, that people don't want to schedule us. We've got to get that back. And I think Helton making some tough decisions at the end of this year and bringing in some coordinators who are just on fire would be a big help. I think that's going to be a step in the right direction. That's Clay Helton and myself at my church at First Baptist in Statesboro. The whole Southern football team comes in right before the season starts. And the church has, we pray over them and everything. And I got a chance to talk with Coach after the service. And that was when I found out that they're training a female eagle. I don't want to say to replace Freedom, because you can't replace Freedom, but to carry on Freedom's legacy. Helton told me she is huge, way bigger than Freedom. And he also told me not to tell anybody, but about a week and a half after that, it kind of hit the internet. So now I can talk about it. Looking forward to that tradition continuing. But talking with Helton, he is a great human being. And I do believe he's a good football coach. You can't win the Pac-12 in a Rose Bowl and be a sorry coach. So I'm hoping that he will make those tough decisions and bring in some coordinators that want to set the world on fire, and they want to do it through Georgia Southern football. That's my hope for 2026. And I'm not writing off 2025 yet. We've got 7 games left. If we can beat Southern Miss, take that momentum, beat State, beat App State, beat Old Dominion, beat Marshall, we're looking at 9-3 if we could win out. And I'd almost bet Texas State's going to win the West as they exit to go to the Pac-12 next year. So they want to go out on a high note as well. So it would be great to win out and play spoiler to Texas State in the Sun Belt Championship game. 9-3, I don't think would get us a look for the playoffs this year. But if we could finish this out 9-3 and roll that over into 2026, maybe with some new coordinators that bring a fire in here and reignite that old school Georgia Southern passion, not only among the team but among the fan base, that looks great for the future. And we have to look at this realistically. Georgia Southern as a mid-major is a stepping stone. We're a stepping stone. We are. Coaches that come here already know if they have those 9-10 win seasons for a couple years in a row, they're gone. They're going to get scooped up. They're going to get taken away. Now, Helton's in his fourth season, and he's either 22-22 or 22-23. He's right around 500. So that's why he's not getting those calls. But as much as he does love Georgia Southern, I would be willing to wager if a Mississippi State or a Michigan State or a Kentucky or a USC, called and wanted him, he's going to go. And you can't blame the man. This is his job. It is his job to be a head football coach on the college level. So, I mean, no matter what you do, if you got a job offer that paid 5 times more a year, you're going to take it. And that's what we just need to, as a fan base and as a program, expect. Is Georgia Southern, when we're successful, will be a revolving door for coaches. So I don't think it hurts to go pull those guys up from FCS that are hungry, that want to win. And you look at what's happening at James Madison right now when they pulled up the FCS. I mean, he's winning. He's got the program rolling. So I don't think it's far-fetched to pull up an FCS coach to this level that's ready and that's hungry. But we have to realize we're always going to be a revolving door. We're not like a UGA. We're not like a Georgia Tech. We're not an Alabama or an Ohio State or Michigan. Coaches that go to coach there want to be there long term, because where are you going to go? Where are you going to go when you're coaching a top 5 school in the country? You're not going to leave. Kirby Smart's not going to leave UGA to go coach Houston. He's not going to leave UGA to even go coach a Vanderbilt. You know what I mean? He's where he wants to be. So as a mid-major, we've just got to realize that, and we've got to accept it. And until the day Georgia Southern has Power 4 written beside their name, we're going to be a revolving door. And hopefully our AD now will make better decisions than TK did. And when a good coach leaves, we just replace him with another one, because that's what it's going to take. And I will get into it. I could do a whole episode on TK and what happened when Fritz left and just the tragedy that ensued after that for our program. But that's for another day. I want to take just a quick second to thank everybody for listening or watching to my first episode of the podcast, The Blue Mile Breakdown. We finally made it a reality. This is episode 1, season 1. Episode 2 is not going to be about current football. We're either going to dive into the traditions, like the Yellow School Bus, Eagle Creek Water, the chants at Paulson and everything, Freedom's Flight, just the great traditions, headbutt and irk before the game. Or we're going to talk about the option legacy and those fantastic years at Georgia Southern. I've got a couple people in mind that I'm going to call to guest star on the show for those episodes. But I do want to thank y'all for watching this. And I want to say this. It is a struggle doing this by yourself because you don't have anybody to bounce things off of. It makes it so much easier when there's give and take. And it was a struggle to do an episode completely by myself. And I do have a couple people in mind that I am going to ask to join me full time on this podcast, which I think would just elevate it, because they are legacy at Georgia Southern. They are phenomenal people with so much knowledge about this program and the school in general. So hopefully that becomes a reality. But for now, it's just going to be me until we can get to that point. So if you watched it on YouTube, hit like, hit subscribe. Thank you guys so much. And if you listen to it over on Spotify or another streaming platform, thank you guys so much for being a part of this inaugural episode. Can we call it inaugural? Because it's not yearly. We'll just call it the launch episode. Thank you guys so much for being a part of it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Until next time, this is the Blue Mile Breakdown. I am Brendan Sapp. Remember, every day to GATA and Hell Southern and no place else. This has been the Blue Mile Breakdown, brought to you in part by Gamer Advantage Eyewear and G Fuel Energy. Make sure to tune in next time as we dive deep into Georgia Southern football.
Wave the blue and the white, hold the banner high, and don't forget to GAT.